Some of the most independent people can't stand their birthdays, while others go all out with parties and countdowns. Take Sigma males, for example. They don't necessarily hate celebration, and they're more than capable of owning the spotlight when they choose to. But when it comes to their birthday, they'd rather just treat it like any other day. It's not about being antisocial, it's about valuing authenticity over forced excitement. Dr. Mark Thompson explains that for introspective individuals, obligatory celebrations often cause more stress than joy. That perfectly sums up the Sigma male's birthday paradox. A day that's supposed to be filled with happiness can actually feel like a burden. The issue isn't celebrating itself. It's that birthdays have become more about putting on a show and meeting social expectations rather than truly enjoying the moment in a meaningful way. Of course, not all Sigma males dislike their birthdays, but many feel indifferent or even uneasy about them. So why do they often find themselves looking forward to the day after their birthday more than the day itself? Let's dive into 6 reasons why. Number 1, unwanted attention. Studies show that 85% of people enjoy being the center of attention on their birthday. But for Sigma males, falling into that remaining 15% creates an interesting contradiction. Most of the year, they deliberately keep a low profile, not because they're hiding, but because staying under the radar allows them the freedom to observe, think, and act without unnecessary social distractions. They prefer to be present without drawing attention, a strategy that serves them well both personally and professionally. Now, think about a typical birthday. Suddenly, people who barely acknowledge you all year start sending messages, making calls, and wanting to celebrate. Coworkers who usually pass by without a word now stop to chat. Social media fills up with generic wishes from people you haven't spoken to in years. Instead of feeling appreciated, it can feel overwhelming, a flood of shallow attention that doesn't quite resonate. Dr. James Carter, a social psychologist, explains this well. He describes spotlight anxiety, where even confident individuals can feel uneasy when they suddenly lose control over their social visibility. Sigma males don't have a problem with attention when it's earned or on their own terms. But birthday attention? That's different. It's random, unearned, and often comes from people who don't show much interest in real connection the rest of the year. It's like carefully setting your volume to the perfect level, only for someone else to crank it up without warning. The issue isn't just being seen, it's the loss of control over when and how you're seen. Number 2, fake connections. Ever notice how some people only show up on special occasions? Research says about 70% of birthday wishes come from people who never talk to you the rest of the year. Psychologists call this opportunistic social behavior, when people use milestone moments to keep up the appearance of a connection without actually maintaining one. For Sigma males, this sudden wave of fake enthusiasm feels like watching a badly rehearsed play. The same coworkers who undermine you all year suddenly act like your biggest supporters. The family members who never agree with your choices now want to celebrate your existence. Old friends who vanished when you needed them most suddenly pretend like they've always been in your corner. Dr. Sarah Chen calls this social theater where people act friendly instead of actually being friends. It's not about real connection, it's about looking like a good person. Sigma types see right through this. They're highly observant and can tell the difference between genuine relationships and surface-level interactions. What bothers them isn't just the fakeness, it's the assumption that they won't notice. They pay attention to who sticks around when life gets tough and who only shows up for the highlights. These shallow gestures are like monopoly money to someone who values real relationships. That's why Sigma males prefer quality over quantity when it comes to friendships. Because true connection isn't about sending a birthday message once a year. It's about showing up when it actually matters. Number 3, emotional expectations. Birthdays come with an unspoken rule. You're supposed to be overflowing with joy just because the calendar says so. Psychologists call this mandatory happiness syndrome, the expectation that you'll radiate excitement, gratitude, and enthusiasm on demand. But for Sigma males, this kind of emotional performance feels like manipulation. Birthdays come with a script. You're expected to smile at every mention of your special day act deeply moved by every gesture, and maintain an energy level that might not reflect how you actually feel. It's like being handed a costume and told to play a role perfectly. Dr. Kevin Jong, an expert in emotional intelligence, explains that being forced to display emotions you don't truly feel creates emotional dissonance, a stressful mismatch between your outward expressions and your inner state. Sigma males value authenticity, so being pressured to fake emotions can feel unnatural and exhausting. It doesn't help that people tend to monitor your emotional reactions on birthdays. Are you smiling enough? Do you seem excited enough? If your energy isn't up to standard, you might be seen as ungrateful or as ruining the mood. But Sigma males process emotions on their own terms. They might feel deep appreciation or joy, but they prefer to express it in a way that feels right to them, not in a public display for others' approval. The most frustrating part? Any deviation from the expected script is seen as a problem. If you don't seem thrilled, you must not care. Number 4. Social obligations. Birthdays can be a minefield of unspoken obligations, especially for Sigma males. The moment someone organizes a surprise party, there's an expectation to act thrilled, even if surprises aren't your thing. A coworker brings cupcakes, and suddenly, your personal day becomes an office-wide event. Family members insist on keeping up with their traditional birthday customs, and saying no makes you seem cold or ungrateful. Dr. Rachel Morrison, a social psychology expert, explains that these kinds of rituals create reciprocity pressure, the subtle but powerful feeling that you must return the favor, whether you want to or not. This is particularly frustrating for Sigma males, who value authenticity in their interactions. Being pulled into social expectations they never agreed to feels like compromising their personal freedom. It's not just about the birthday itself, it's the ripple effect. Every happy birthday you receive comes with an unspoken obligation to remember and acknowledge others' special days, attend their gatherings, and engage in traditions you never signed up for. What should be a simple celebration turns into a year-long web of commitments. Number 5. All the phone calls, happy birthday messages. Ever counted how many notifications you get on your birthday? Research suggests the average person receives anywhere from 25 to 100 birthday messages across different platforms. Now, picture someone who keeps a low digital profile, a true Sigma, suddenly overwhelmed by a flood of incoming messages. Your phone, usually a quiet tool, turns into a relentless machine of interruptions. Just as you're deep in thought or making progress on something meaningful, ping. Another birthday wish demands your attention. Dr. Alex Martinez, an expert in digital communication, calls this attention fragmentation, where each notification chips away at your focus, leading to cognitive stress. But it's not just the sheer number of messages, it's the expectations attached to them. Ignore a message for too long? You're rude. Reply too briefly? You seem ungrateful. Miss a call? Now you owe an explanation. Suddenly your time isn't yours anymore, it belongs to everyone else. For Sigma personalities, these disruptions are especially frustrating. They force constant context switching. One moment, you're working on something important. The next, you're figuring out how to respond to people you barely interact with. Every switch drains mental energy that could be better spent elsewhere. Things get even worse when important messages get buried under birthday wishes, a client's email lost in the flood, a crucial text drowned out by generic greetings. The digital walls you carefully maintain crumble under the weight of birthday traditions. For those who prefer real conversations and focused time, the endless notifications feel more like an obligation than a celebration. Number 6. The singing. There's something undeniably awkward about having a group of people sing at you while you sit there, unsure of what to do with your face. It's one of those forced spotlight moments that even the most outgoing people find strange. For private and reserved types like Sigma males, it can feel like pure torture. Picture this: a room full of people, some you barely know, all gathered around, singing off-key while staring directly at you. And you're just expected to, what? Smile? Nod? Conduct an invisible orchestra? There's no rule book for handling those painfully long 30 seconds. Body language expert Dr. Lisa Park explains why this feels so unnatural. It's called social role confusion. You're somehow both the audience and the main event. That weird dynamic makes it even more uncomfortable. What's worse is that it doesn't just happen once. It repeats at work, with family, at dinner. Each time you're trapped in the same bizarre situation, people performing at you while you try to look appreciative without feeling completely ridiculous. It's not about disliking birthdays or attention. It's just that one specific bit of social theater where everyone knows it's awkward, but we all go along with it anyway because, well, that's just what we do. That's all for this video. We hope you have found this video informative and interesting. Do you identify with any of these traits? Which sign resonated with you the most, and why? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know in the comments section. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon for more interesting videos like this. Thank you for watching our video.